Hello, this is Lita with Pivotal Moments with Lolita. And of course, we have another amazing conversation that we will be having today. Now, this, of course, is May, Mental Health Awareness Month, and this is something that is just near and dear to me. I'm very passionate about. So, all of the pivotal moments this month have some type of connection with just mental health and regaining yourself. And so I'm really excited about today's conversation because I have Patricia, who is the mom of a previous guest, our 10-year-old entrepreneur, Smell of Love Candles, Alejandro. But I have his mom on today because she is actually going to share her own story, her own pivotal moments of leaving an abusive relationship and starting over, and how she's been able to just regain her own mental health strength and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And of course, these are always, very sensitive topics, but we're going to get through it. And I'm so happy, Patricia, to have you on and sharing your story. So welcome to Pivotal Moments.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. So I did that intro, but tell us a little bit just about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Patricia Buxton. I am the mother of Alejandro, who is the owner of Smell of Love Candles. And I've sort of transitioned from mom to sort of COO of his business, just because he's growing and he needs the help. So it's been very rewarding.
Yeah, yeah, wow. I mean, and it's y'all, just a sidebar, y'all really need to check out these candles because like I am obsessed. They smell so good. So yes, we'll make sure we have that link right there to make sure you can check that out. Yes, Patricia. So we had Alejandro on several months ago, and he just did an amazing job. But you and I talked about you coming back and just kind of sharing your own pivotal moment with the hopes of encouraging and inspiring others. So I think this is just a perfect time with it being Mental Health Awareness. So why don't we go ahead and get into the conversation and share your pivotal moment?
Sure. So let me give you a little bit of the background just so you understand when I came to that moment. I was married to the father of my kids. I have two, I have Alejandro, and then I have a toddler. And it wasn't a good marriage. It was very volatile and there was a lot of abuse. And I lost myself, but I didn't realize that I had lost myself until I had that moment. And my moment came during a period of transition. So I used to be a teacher. I taught for 9 years. And while I was teaching full time, I also had dreams of going to law school, which I had given up before for this particular person. And a few years prior to that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pursue this. But Alejandro was a toddler and was small. And so he kind of went through law school with me. So I was working full time, and then I would rush to get to class, and then I would come home and I would study really late at night. And towards the end of my career in law school, it was that period I was getting ready to graduate. I was getting ready to transition careers. So there was a lot of movement. And at the same time, I was a few weeks pregnant with my daughter. So there was a lot of movement, and I needed home to be peaceful, but it wasn't. I would come home and it was a home full of just stress. And it just wasn't good. So I had, after a particular incident, it sort of was something broke inside me. And I can't really explain it, but it just felt like something just broke. Alejandro was growing. He was starting to witness incidents. He was starting to hear things that just weren't healthy. And then on top of that, I was pregnant with my daughter. And there was just something inside me that just said, this is not it. This is not love. This is not it. And at that moment, I realized that I didn't even know who I was. And I felt so lost, so depressed, and lonely, because I had basically given myself to this person my identity, everything that I was about sort of revolved around this person, to the point where I didn't know myself. And that's when I decided in that moment that I was like, you know what? I didn't sign up to be a single mom, but this is what I have to do. And it was that I remember the specific moment because I remember crying, breaking down. And I was like, I have to leave. This is not it. And that sort of led to everything else that came after, because being a single mom is not easy. Starting over is not easy. And the loneliness that it comes with was something that I didn't fully anticipate, sort of that journey to finding who I was and my beliefs, my values, everything. I had to rediscover who I was. Amidst all the transitions that were going on in my life. I still had to transition careers. I still had to transition, everything, home. It was so much movement that I had to go to therapy because I was like, I don't know how to deal with all these emotions. And on top of that, the hormones of being pregnant, which that comes with its own all other host of issues. It was a lot. It was a lot. But it was that moment that I was like, this is not it. This is not what I want for my kids. And this is not what I want them to see.
Well, first of all, Patricia, as we've talked before, and, as I speak about many times, as a person who went through, similar situation and had to leave an abusive relationship and starting over and all that, I just commend you so much because I know the courage that it took and the strength. And even though you felt broken and alone and all these different emotions, it was brave, to be able to overcome all of that and still make a decision for yourself and your family. So first of all, I commend you on that. I know it's not an easy journey, and having helped hundreds of women, with this process, I know that it's not an easy journey. And so I appreciate you, even just sharing and being vulnerable and talking about it, because I know it's a lot.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
It's just even to share and to talk about it. It's still hard. I don't know if you can tell. It's just, there are a lot of emotions that come from sharing, but I think it's important for people to realize, like, look, you made whatever stage of the journey you're in, like there is another side to it. There is a different type of life. There is a different way. And that journey to self-discovery is long, but when you see other people who have come out of the other side, and it's an everyday process, but going through that dark period, I think it's important for people to speak about it, because, when I started reaching out to like different support groups, I started to see that I was not alone. Even though I felt alone, right. I was not on this journey by myself.
Yeah. Wow. So, when we talk about the pivotal moment, we always talk about what you discovered is that thing that's of central importance to you. So what would you say with making that pivot, with making, coming to that point, making that pivot, what did you learn was that unchangeable thing of importance for you?
Self-love and peace. I discovered that I didn't have either, because I had lost myself so much in this marriage. Home wasn't peaceful. I wasn't at peace with myself. I didn't love myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't let a certain person treat me the way they did. And that just became the focal point for me. I want to create a peaceful environment for my kids. I want to be at peace, inner peace with myself. And I had that moment where I was like, I have enough. I am going to find this self-love. And, it just became so important to me that I started, through therapy, through journaling, through meditation, through prayer, lots and lots of prayer. these two things just kept coming to mind: find your peace and find your self-love. And they became the key. I felt like it was like my key to like getting through those dark moments.
Yeah. Wow. So then switching gears a bit, of course, the viewers know we always come to the point where we talk about adjustments, because that's kind of a different shift. And sometimes that can be a little bit more challenging, adapting to something uncomfortable. I'm sure that, it's probably pretty easy to figure out where you made some adjustments, but what would you share with us, your adjustments during this process and what that was like for you?
The biggest thing is a mindset, right? Shifting your mindset. Like, I didn't set out to bring kids into the world and be a single mom. And that part was the hardest for me to accept and adjust to. Being the primary breadwinner for 2 kids is hard. It's a lot of pressure. And, I was going through a transition with my career. I was going through my transition in my personal life. I mean, it just, that mindset where I was like, okay, it's just me and I have to make this work, was hard, because when we started over, I mean, I was pregnant and I was sleeping on a bunk bed, with Alejandro. It's a hard pill to swallow when you come from, everybody has their own room, everybody has their own bed, no one's sleeping on a bunk bed. It's a hard pill to swallow. And then starting over from that, like the pressure of being a single parent, being, the mom, making sure everybody has like food and shelter, and it's a lot. And it came with sacrifices where I went into the corporate world, and then I realized, this is not conducive to also being a mom, a single mom on top of that, so I had to make the sacrifice. Okay, let's move to a job where, you're going to take a pay cut, but at the same time, it allows you to be home with your kids. And I think adjusting and making those decisions for my family, at the beginning was hard. But now once I started to be like, okay, this is my life now, this is what I have to do, then they become easier. I'm not going to say they're easy because the pressure is still there to provide and to make sure everybody's okay, but they become easier. And, while I felt like the corporate job was a sacrifice, it was also a benefit for my family because, I'm able to be here. I'm able to, make, when pre-COVID, right, I was able to make all the games. I was able to make activities. I was able to take them, chauffeur. I could still have my career and have, be a mom at the same time. And so that adjustment of being like a single mom was really hard, but it gets easier over time.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, again, I just, my heart goes out to you, and you sharing your journey. I can only imagine just how challenging. Sometimes, when we talk about it, we can say it in just kind of matter of fact almost, but to have lived it, sometimes it's no way to actually convey the emotion that went through living through those moments. So again, I just applaud you for your courage of even talking about it now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So as we come to the end of the conversation, what do you want to say specifically to those viewers out there watching this, to women watching this, to whomever? What message do you want to leave directly with them?
I want everybody to realize that you become powerful when you self-love, when you have peace. Because once you find those things for yourself, you empower those around you. For example, once I came to a place internally where I was like, okay, we can do this. I found who I was. I regained myself. I regained my peace. I regained my identity. I in turn became a better mom. And, that's led, Alejandro to be like, to start his business. I don't know what my daughter's going to do, but whatever she takes on, I feel strong enough to empower them too. So once you find your inner peace, once you find that self-love, you just empower those around you. And I feel like that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. That is good stuff. I mean, it really is. It really is. Well, Patricia, once again, thank you so much for just coming and sharing, a bit of your journey, right? And just showing us, one, that it's possible. It's possible to be in a situation that you're not happy, even if it's going to be extremely difficult and challenging. It's possible to leave that situation and start over. And then here you are, you've made these adjustments, you've made many, many sacrifices. I'm sure what you shared today doesn't even touch the surface, but you're smiling, you're feeling better. Your 10-year-old is an entrepreneur and doing great with his business. Like, this is a result of you being determined not to give up. So I applaud you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, that is the end of today's conversation. I am sure that you have been inspired and encouraged by Patricia's story. Of course, as I mentioned, the information there for Smell of Love candles is there. Definitely check that out. And of course, reach out if you are going through something or just need a little bit of extra encouragement. You have Patricia's information there, but also if you want to even share your own story, because this is something that can empower other people to know that it's possible. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in and for your support. And we will see you next time on Pivotal Moments with Lolita.
All right.